Hey, what's happening, team? It's exciting to be one of the ones to share what's happening right now. I mean, it's December 2019. We're getting ready to kick off 2020. We just came back from the Costa Rica Leadership Retreat. That was a phenomenal experience. It was great to see Coach Mark and Cindy in action with their people. They've been doing this for a long time, and it was the first time we were able to witness what was happening. But it also confirmed exactly what I thought when I first had dinner with Mike Patillo, a couple of years ago, way before I even joined, this movement with It Works. And, I had this premonition that this was going to be possibly the next Herbalife, just from, and what a great example, by the way. There's so many big companies that have been around for a long time in our industry, but that just means a legacy company, a company that can be around for generations, not for a hot minute, not for periods of 6 months or 6 years, but generations. And that's important to all of us because we all have families. And if you're going to invest your time and energy into a part-time or a full-time business, you want it to last. I mean, let's not build something to keep it for a few months. Let's build, something to keep it for a lifetime. And as some of the great leaders say, build it for your last name. So there's so many good ways to look at what's happening. But I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that that premonition is not only coming true, it will be massive over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So that's why we ask, and as we present today, just to give you the nuts and the bolts and, roll your sleeves up just for a short period of time. I'm not going to take too much of your time, but grab your journals and let's get serious for a moment. Like Jim Rohn would say, it's time to get serious because we're going to talk about making history. One of the things I want to share with you that gave me chills when Mark day one started to talk about some of the things that had, in the history of the company to where they were just a few short years ago. Not a product in 6 months or 3 months, and they built the team to a very high level of getting products out. If you look at just 2019, if you're brand new, I understand you're probably you feel like you're learning a bunch of stuff. But for those of us that have been here for 6 months or 12 months or whatever it might be, we've seen it. We've seen the company get to a point where they've launched more products and marketing and support than most companies do in 5 years. They've done a phenomenal job, and they're human. When they make mistakes, they own up to it, and they know that they're not a perfect company, but they want to be the perfect company for us. So that message was loud and clear. It's always been loud and clear from Mark. But here's what he said that gave me chills in this first meeting. We're about to go on the greatest run in our history. It starts now. Gather your squad. Time to take action. And, this is coach. I mean, Mark is a former coach. And so he treats everything like, hey, you've got to know who's in your starting lineup, and especially this time of year. So great message, number one, to write down. He really spent time all weekend asking, do you want more? This is all about more. We're going for more, our biggest run in 2020. So this relates to every single one of us. And he asked that question relentlessly. And I love it because I've had to think about it for 3, 4, 5 days. Mike Patillo, he challenged everyone to say one thing in 90 days from now. Will you be glad you did, or will you wish you had? What a great question, a powerful, a tough question for some people. A tough question that we don't want to answer the second way. We want to say, I'm so glad I did. Instead of, man, I wish I had. Okay. Patillo is very black and white. He gets down to business, and I do love that demeanor when it comes to training and development and really just making decisions. Mark also talked quite a bit about faith over fear. I'm not going to go into that detail because most of you already know this all too well. But Mark and Cindy have lived their entire life that way. And let's not forget, they didn't wake up one day as school teachers and coaches and, all of a sudden have a private jet or an island or a billion-dollar company. I mean, the history of Mark and Cindy, they've been through their ups and downs in life. They raised their kids on a teacher's salary. They had to use faith over fear their entire life. So Mark reminds people before a big run, you've got to stay focused on your faith and have it conquer the fear. So I thought that was a great message from Mark and Cindy, always doing a great job laying that foundation. But we covered 3 phases. I took my notes from my journal. I put this into a presentation for you. This is not to be shared publicly. This is not to be shared on Facebook or social media. This is for you to use one-on-one. This is for you to digest what's happening, where the company is right now and where we're going. And that's that. This is like you were in that leadership meeting, and it's important that you can relay this confidently with your squad. Okay, so now until December 27th, that is phase one. Very simple, and we know right now we've got flash sales that have continued through the 10th. If it's past the 10th, that's okay. There's other promos. The company is notorious for that. They're well known for lots of promotions. You never have to worry about a dull moment here, but just pay attention to what's happening. And by the way, even though this flash sale is ending today, as I do this recording, the celebrity collaboration, okay, with Dr. Nassif, and if you look at his history with Botched and the celebrity product line that we have now, it's not going to go away. So even though we have a flash sale, great deal, great price, great BV, keep in mind this is turning heads. This is getting a lot of people to join, influencers, a lot of people that are into skincare. They understand the power of this relationship. So use it to your advantage. One thing Mark talked about was removing barriers. Look at your year, 2019. I remember this verbatim because he said, guys, we all have things in this past year that we have to let go of. Okay, sometimes you got to slow down to speed up. You got to take some inventory of yourself and people that you're spending too much time with, some people that deserve your time versus people that need your time. There's a big difference. And before you start a new year, you want to clean that up and kind of let go of some things and ask yourself, what barriers were in my way? What was stopping me from success? Was it me? Was it my ego? Was it my willingness not to learn? I mean, be accountable, look in the mirror, own up to it for yourself. It's not about other people. There's a million excuses we can all make, but at the end of the day, true leadership is about making money and making things work, okay? It's never easy. It's not going to be the easiest thing you're ever going to do, but it will be simple, and the rewards will be extremely high. So focus on winning day to day. Another great tip that Mark shared, I loved it. Little wins. Somebody gets a customer, celebrate. Somebody gets a fast start commission, let's celebrate. These are big, big deals. Okay, this is a big day when somebody wins. Let's celebrate that success. Vision boards, goal setting. I've always been big on journals. Jim Rohn inspired me many, many years ago, and I love it. Even the best years of my life to the worst years of my life, there's never been a time where I've been without a journal. And I can reflect on that and I can learn from it. So vision boards, though, I love that Mark has pushed that for many, many years. All the top leaders, cutting out things that they visualize, they put on their vision board, they set their goals, and do the same with your leaders, your emerging leaders, your top leaders. Encourage them to do the same. You can't force them to, but there's nothing wrong with having that conversation, planting that seed, encouraging them to lead by example. This is exactly what Mark asked everyone to do. Building up new rubies and emeralds in December is absolutely key. You want to set up the diamond runs for January as we lead into convention. And part of this phase one, even though we're going to get through a Christmas holiday, so important, no matter what you celebrate during this time of year, our family and faith are paramount. They are number one. So we're all going to love that time with our family and enjoy it, kind of rejuvenate, reinvigorate, all those things we have to do, recharge the batteries and all that good stuff. But setting up your diamond runs for January, very important. You'll see things unfold as this year ends. And, Mark did a great job, and Mike and Cammie, saying, hey guys, 2020 starts now. This isn't something we're going to wait to start on the 1st or the 15th of January, or, we're not going to lollygag around. We're starting now. They're starting now. We're starting now. Okay. The little things that we do, the little decisions that we make. And one challenge I accepted, and I think it's important, Brandy and I are doing this together, is we need to sponsor new people. And here's why. This is the time of year. Let's just, if you take another note on the world of prospecting right now, okay, there's not a shortage of prospects. Over 500,000 people are starting a business every single month in this world. And you think about those numbers are just off the charts. I mean, it's exciting. There's no shortage of prospects. There's shortage of prospecting. This time of year, what you have to understand is everybody wants to lose weight and people want to make more money. This is common. This is why the gyms are full in January and February and March. And this is why people get motivated and they state their goals and they get excited. And people are open and they're willing to change and make moves at the end of the year. Okay, so remember that and make a commitment yourself to contact some of those people you haven't contacted that you should have maybe months ago, weeks ago, days ago. Make a commitment, get 2 to 3 new partners before the year ends, and some of the information you're going to have, you're going to be able to do that with. Phase 2, we're going to be building up for that. You're going to see a lot of information that's going to come from the company here over the next 7 to 10 days. We're going to get through the holidays, but just watch out. It's big and it's coming fast. It's going to be exciting. Just on a side note, there are new products in Europe and Mexico. Okay, they just launched Super Reds and Super Greens in Europe, which was huge. Mexico, we're launching at the end of the year here for the beginning of the year, Keto Coffee and ThermoFight X. That's going to be another hashtag boom. Mexico's a big weight loss environment, and our products in the testing phase and the results phase are going over extremely well, as we knew they would, as they always have here. So ThermoFight X and Keto Coffee are going to change the game in Mexico, and they're already doing a great job with just the 3 core products. Losing weight and giving back. I just want you to let that sink in. You're going to see a massive global movement from the company that you're going to be able to participate in. The concept, I can't give you all the details, but I can tell you you'll know soon enough. But just be prepared that you're going to be able to help people lose and, shed those pounds, and you're going to be able at the same time build your business, build up your residual income, and you're going to help save families. And I'll leave it at that. It's going to be the largest movement you've ever seen in this industry. And what else would you expect from the company that is dominating the industry right now in North America? Nobody can even see our dust, and that's a fact. So it's going to be one of the best, largest excitements. It's going to help change the game for all of you. And you're going to start asking yourself, how many families are we going to impact? It's going to be awesome. People keep hearing rumors like, Mike, keep hearing stuff. Is there new money coming out? Is there, new products coming? They always do all this exciting stuff. And I'm fairly new here, guys, but I can tell you that some of these rumors are true. It's exciting times, and you're going to see a lot from now through the beginning of January, the middle of January, and right up to conference. So get laser focused on the first part of this end game, and that's phase 1. Phase 1 is really simple, but you want to take your squad through phase 1 and prepare them for phase 2 and prepare them for what's going to happen here as soon as we kick off 2020 on December 27th. So from now until then, you want to maximize the product offerings that are going on and getting people to build up to whatever level you need to achieve in the month of December to close the month strong. One of the quotes I shared, and I think it's important to reshare at this point in stage of the game, 2020, I'm going to say right now, is the year. Everything we thought may happen is happening. It-Works is going to be the next $2 to $3 billion company. Now, let me explain something. First of all, I took this picture in Costa Rica. It was pretty awesome following this monkey. He was in a backpack. He was like mischievous, and he was like mischievous Smurf. And I don't know, I think he was looking for food, but it was pretty cool. He ran up this tree, and I just took this picture, and, to see the people out there kind of enjoying the beauty of Mother Nature and the beaches. I mean, Costa Rica is a beautiful place. But, it's inspiring, it's motivating, and really to sit back and digest what's been happening with this company. The reality is this: 2020 is the year. I can't tell you how many chills I got over the weekend when Mark would say, guys, we are getting ready to go on the biggest run we've ever gone on. We've been working hard to prepare product launch in our systems and our people just for that. The additions that they've made to the comp plan and much more coming. Everything you see that's happened in 2019, most companies couldn't pull off in 3 to 5 years. That's just a fact. They are and have become a well-oiled machine. The company is positioned right now, and I'll tell you this is a fact. The company could handle $3 billion in business this coming year. Okay, not saying it's going to happen this coming year, but the company is so far ahead of the game because that's where they're going. And that's exactly what I love about the leadership of Mark and Cindy, not just meeting all these people that have been around for a long time. They are extremely loyal. They appreciate everything. They are students of Mark and Cindy, just faith, family, fun, friendships. I mean, just all that good stuff. I mean, it was pretty eye-opening for us to witness, because some of these people are making, 6 figures a month, and they are more disciplined than some people I know making $500 a month. So it's not always just about the money. It's about that they are enjoying the process of becoming a better person. And so I do want to speak for a moment. I'm gonna take an extra couple minutes here, because there's many people on the team and new people joining right now that, your goal might be $300 a month or $500 a month or $1,000 a month. And I don't really care what the goal is. But what I do care about is that you achieve it. And what I do care about is that if that's the impact for your family, to pay off a debt, to have extra money for vacations, gas, nails, whatever it might be, it's about winning. And I'm just going to tell you that the one T in life, okay, the one T in life that can make a big difference for you. I've seen it, and I've seen it with my family for many, many, many years from our experiences, and that's timing. And guys, the truth of the matter is that the window that we have from 2019 was actually early. 2020 is the big year. Mark was preparing for this for a long time, with or without us. We just happened to be in the right place at the right time. So now here we are, 2020 is getting ready to kick off, and I'm going to challenge every single one of you. If your goal is 300, I'm just going to challenge you to think a little bit bigger. Make it 600. If your goal is 1,000 a month, just challenge yourself to think a little bit bigger, dream a little bit bigger, and make it 2,000 a month. I mean, hey, worst case scenario, you fall at 1,500 a month. You still beat your goal of 1,000. So 2020, guys, it's the year. It's the big year. You're going to see them. You're going to see some things happen in the next couple of years that I believe are going to be epic. I mean, how many times have you witnessed a company go from where they are now, 25, 26 countries, less than 30 countries, to over 90 countries? Less than $1 billion in sales to $3 to $4 billion in sales. It's happened many times in this industry. Not a lot, but it's happened enough. Okay, it's possible, and it's happening. I believe it's Mark and Cindy and the company's destiny. That's just me talking. But you can always talk to Mark Pentecost about this, and he will tell you the same thing. Here's what I love about the hike. You see the picture. I put this up here for a reason. We all got assigned different things to do during the retreat. I just happened to sneak up right behind Mark, and as we went on this little journey to a waterfall, I can just tell you, Mark's conversation, it was all about protecting and preserving this company for generations to come. He was like a little kid. I can't even explain it to you. He was just walking along, and he's just talking like a little kid. He was so excited, like he had all this money in the candy store, right? And he just was happy. But no, Mike, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. And, guys, he doesn't need to sell me. I'm already sold. So he wasn't trying to sell me. It was just his demeanor, his attitude, his influence. And one thing we talked about at this event also was phase 3, which is going to begin at conference. Mark challenged all of us to get a conference attitude, because we all know one thing. If you individually, and for some of you on this call, if you're new and you look at that conference and you say, man, it's a ticket I got to buy, it's gas, it's a hotel, it's airfare. I mean, listen, guys, I've been here many times. My first company, my brother and I, we drove to conferences. We slept in our car to get to conferences. We had to share money and split money and share food sometimes, because there were times where we went to events where we really couldn't afford to. But what we realized is that we couldn't afford not to. And when I look back at those days, it was just that pure hunger, that conference attitude that Mark was driving with everybody today. And it's so important. If you're new, if you're fairly new with this team or the organization, or just a direct sales network marketing, just trust us that events change everything. So do your best to get to conference, okay? Don't think about it. Make a decision. I always tell people, if you're thinking about attending, then you've already decided, and that's not a good place to be. You make a decision. You want to go to conference. You want to attend the event, because that event could be the event that changes everything for you. So get a conference attitude. And leaders listening in, we can't hear this enough. I mean, let's get our key people to get that conference attitude. The more people we have at conference, the stronger the bond, the relationships. I mean, it just creates all sorts of momentum and excitement. And guys, if you knew what we knew coming out at conference, some of the hot new products coming out, it would blow you away. Some of the new announcements, I can't even start to share some of it because I'll share too much and get in trouble. But I can just tell you it's going to be big. I mean, what's happening right now in the month of December that's about to be launched and announced is huge. It's big. You can already feel the energy, right? All right. Let's talk about some of the bullet points for the 90-day run. So we're making that commitment. After 90 days, we want to ask ourselves, am I glad I did? Or am I going to wish I had? So think about that. It's a great challenge from Mike Patillo. Part of that process is that we need to commit personally to phase 1 and phase 2. We also need to identify who's on our squad, our top 3 to 5, and let's have them commit with us to phase 1, especially right now, and phase 2. Personally discuss this commitment with your leaders, and let's get some type of game plan together for them. One thing I love about this is, it's amazing. I've seen people in their spare time, their part-time efforts, do more than somebody full-time, okay? Because when you take an hour, when you take 3 hours, if you commit to that time, you can move mountains. Trust me on this. I've seen people in 60 minutes make 20 phone calls, send 15 messages, and make progress, make appointments, make sales. If you've never been on a power hour, I'm going to highly encourage you, when you see one, jump on one. You'll see more activity in 60 minutes than some people do in 6 months, period. So when you think about this, it is your personal commitment to lead by example. And many of you do, and you do so well. The challenge to find 3 partners, we already talked about that, but you can personally replace them. It's up to you. But that is a challenge in itself. Again, this is that time of year. People are very open, extremely open. Their front door is wide open, wait for you to walk right through it to talk about money and losing weight. That's just the nature of the beast this time of year. December, January, February, March is game time. This is big time. And it doesn't matter, weight loss in general, just the category itself, this is the biggest time of year. Making more money. People have just spent money. They've also gained money during the holidays, so they're ready to go. They're ready to invest or take the next step. We set the stage for rubies and emeralds and diamonds to make those runs in January, and we build up to conference. Ask your team who's going. If people are challenged and finances are an issue, let's make a game plan to increase fast start commissions and certain things we can do to help them, maybe some retail commissions, some wrap cash. We got people doing that right now, every day. We're going to embrace the weight loss challenge. You're going to see this movement come out very soon. I'm not going to, again, go through the details. I think you already have enough of a taste of it today to get excited, because we're going to be changing lives and saving lives while we help people lose weight. I can't even tell you how excited I am for that. It's just going to bring in a whole new dynamic to what's going on. The mindset that Mark and Cammie and Mike shared, January starts in December. Phase 1, ultra important that we get that done. Get laser focused on phase 1 with your squad. We've already had a commitment, and many people are doing it now. The increase in in-home meetings, the increase in Zooms, the increase in one-on-ones. If you really think about it, look at your calendar. People are going to be extremely busy up until the 22nd to the 23rd of the month, and then they're going to take some time off, rightfully so, for the Christmas holiday. Absolutely. But from now until then, there's a lot of time. Today's the 10th. You're talking 12 full days, 13 full days of activity. And that 12 to 13 days of activity can set the stage for January. It can set the stage for everything that happens as you launch into 2020. So extremely important. 2020, as Mark would say, it's yours. He challenged all of us to finally look at what you want and claim it, own it, and take the necessary action for it. So, Mark is one of those guys, by the way, and so is Mike and Cammie. They don't have to try to motivate. They don't have to try to inspire. They just do so naturally. They've all done it themselves. They've all led by example. They've all built in the field. They all know exactly how you feel from day one to, the day you're in right now, the season that you're in right now. So my personal commitment to all of you, Brandy and I, we're going to do the best we can to serve everyone more. Okay. If there's something we can do to help you, don't be afraid to ask. If we can do more, when it comes to events or in-home meetings or anything we can do, just ask. I mean, we're always going to do the best we can do. And make no mistake, I felt that energy from Mark and Mike and Cammie and the various leaders, Pam Souter. I mean, I love her. She's just, she's that queen bee who came from nothing and built from scratch, and she's got everything she wants today. She's living her dream, and you can tell by that smile. And let me tell you something. Look at that smile. Look at the stage of life that Pam's in, and realize, for some of you that are a young mom, maybe you're a young grandma, I don't know what your stage of life is, but this is why I love Pam and Cammie and Mike and Mark and Cindy. They've all been there. They've all been there. But Pam was epic at this leadership retreat, and she was having so much fun. That girl was doing Superman. I mean, literally Superman on the zip lines, going down the largest zip lines in the world. But she's fearless, and she's having a lot of fun. So that's part of claiming it. That's part of owning it. That's part of taking that action to, get to where you need and where you want to be. And don't be afraid to ask for help. We all have an upline. If your upline's not around anymore or not active, I mean, it's part of life. It's part of the business. But there's so much more support available than maybe you don't realize. There's so many team calls going on. There's so many different Zooms going on and power hours, and I call it plugging in. So just realize there's plenty of support for everyone. If you need help, don't be afraid to ask. But in wrapping up this call here today, people ask me, what's the next step? Phase 1. Don't worry about phase 2. Don't worry about phase 3, guys. Phase 1 is where